In my studio, I don't have very much evidence of the actual drawings left. What I do have, though, is one that's in progress, and it's this Kestrel. You've seen it behind me for a while now. With this still in my studio, I thought I'd show you the step-by-step that's involved in the thinking to get to a point where I'm interested in that particular bird. I will take a 4x6 photo, and the first thing I'll do is enlarge it. So I'll get an 8x10 or an 8x12. The better your reference, the better your art's going to be. In this particular photo, this Kestrel was not up close. I had to get as close as I could. And the next thing I did was on my computer, enlarge it. But to get from this point to this point sometimes confuses people. They'll ask me, how do you ever think about what you want to crop into? And I've made myself a little tool. You've seen them before, but it's a cropping tool, basically. And I'll sometimes close this gap and figure out, this composition looks good. So I might take that particular angle. I have designed it so that it gives me a square format, and again, I could take that square, and if I like that triangle format a little bit better, that might be something I work with. What I'm left over is this small rectangle, which again, it's not perfect. I might decide to change something later on and crop it a little bit more, but it gives me something to start with. You can use this in the real world when you're looking at a three-dimensional scene, a landscape or whatever. I'm not saying I invented this. I'm just saying I cut it for myself. And it's just two pieces of card independent of each other, and they fit inside of one another and let you do some cropping. Nowadays we have computers though, and we're able to crop in. And that's another thing I'd tell you to take advantage of. Anything that's going to make your life easier. Don't be a slave to your photo. If you see something, start thinking about what it is that appeals to you. Working on the personality of the animal is what captures my interest. And if you want to do the same with a tree, I don't care what it is, start looking at that tree intimately, if you want to call it something. The next thing I did was take a sheet of tracing paper and find my circles. So either on the black and white or the color copy, I'll do the same thing. I'll break it down into shapes. The circles, I'm begging you to keep a circle in mind. If you can do that, you're making your life a little easier. And when you have your template, triangles and everything else can be drawn off of that circle. The orientation, think of the hands of a clock and what angles some of those things appear at, and you'll be well set. This is what remains of the transferring paper that I traced from my drawing to transfer this onto the board I do my paintings on.